Here are today's top stories. The government is fast-tracking the construction of the proposed Metro Manila subway, which may become operational by 2022. The Department of Foreign Affairs assures that it is exerting all efforts for the safe and early release of kidnapped OFWs in Libya. Secretary Mark Villar warns that contractors with unexplained delays in the implementation of infrastructure projects will be blacklisted. And the San Miguel Beermen take the lead in the PBA Commissioners' Cup Finals with a blowout win against Barangay Ginebra in Game 3. Good day, I'm Pia Rosas Morato. Welcome to the PNA Newsroom. The government is fast-tracking the construction of the proposed Metro Manila subway. The project is expected to become operational as early as 2022. More in this report from Rom Dulfo.
The construction of the Metro Manila subway, the biggest project under the government's Build, Build, Build program, will begin this year. Transport Chief Arthur Tugadi said the start of the project was expedited upon the agreement of the involved parties. Last March, the Philippines and Japan signed a loan agreement for the project with the initial tranche amounting to $935 million. Tugadi said the construction will start at a partial operability covering North Avenue, Mindanao Avenue, and Tendang Sora. This includes the construction of the Railway Institute and Depot in Valenzuela, Bulacan. Phase 1 of the 25-kilometer underground railway will have a total of 14 stations from Mindanao Avenue in Quezon City to the NAIA in Parañaque City. Finance Chief Carlos Dominguez said the initial operation of the MMSP is targeted to start by 2022, while the full operation of Phase 1 has been set for 2025. For the PNA Newsroom, I'm Rom Dulfo.
The Department of Foreign Affairs on Thursday confirmed that 3 of the 4 men in the video calling for assistance from Libya were Filipino technicians abducted by an armed group last July. DFA Assistant Secretary and spokesperson El Mercado told reporters in an interview that he confirmed the individuals in the video were indeed Filipino technicians. Cato assured that the DFA is doing everything to ensure the workers' safety and early release. On Thursday morning, a video circulated on social media in which 4 men asked their government for help. One of the men identified himself as South Korean and the other 3 as Filipinos who were working on a water supply project. The kidnapping was reported a month ago by the Philippine Embassy in Tripoli. According to Charge of Affairs, Mardomen Melicor, the armed men entered the victims' construction site located a half-kilometer from the capital and took 5 foreigners and 4 Libyans from their quarters. The armed men later released one of the foreign workers and all the Libyans. President Rodrigo Duterte has called for a command conference in response to the bomb explosion that hit a military checkpoint in Lamitan, Basilan. Special Assistant to the President Christopher Bongo says the President was alarmed by the bombing that killed at least 11 persons and wounded 7 others. Go, however, brushed aside speculations about the possibility of expanding martial law or a state of national emergency following the incident. The whole of Mindanao is expected to be under martial law until the end of the year. Go has also assured prompt assistance from Malacanang to the victims of the bombing. He said the chief executive originally planned to fly to the area to condole with the families of the victims. Overseas, Filipino workers groups trooped to the Department of Labor and Employment in Intramuros, Manila to express their support for Labor Secretary Silvestre Bello III. The OFW organizations came from the Calabarzon, Ilocos, Cagayan Valley, and Davao regions, as well as the provinces of Maguindanao, Cebu, and Nueva Ecija. In a manifesto issued during the rally, the members described Bello as official with integrity, honesty, and transparency, contrary to the allegations of his detractors. They said they believe in Bello's policies, particularly those against contractualization in the labor sector. They also thanked the Labor Secretary for the assistance extended to them by the department. Bello and former Labor Undersecretary Dominador Sai have been accused of extorting over 6 million pesos from the owner of a recruitment agency. Former Chief Justice Reynata Puno has welcomed the statement of House Speaker Gloria Macapagal Arroyo that the two chambers of Congress should vote in a constituent assembly to amend the 1987 Constitution. Arroyo had noted that she wanted to be able to move forward and be realistic to agree on the manner of voting for charter change. The Senate has earlier agreed on the separate voting. Puno described Arroyo's decision as a major roadblock that has been removed. Puno meanwhile said President Duterte's mention of the new constitution allowing a shift to federalism in his SONA was already an endorsement in itself. CONCOM member and former Senate President Nene Pimentel was confident that Duterte would eventually endorse the draft charters. Still to come, the NCRPO is hailed for going after rogue colleagues. The Cordillera Wages and Productivity Board has approved increases in the minimum wages of workers in the region. These and more when the PNA Newsroom continues. PNP Chief Oscar Albayalde personally awarded medals to the officers and men of the National Capital Region Police Office who played key roles in going after their rogue colleagues. Taguig City Police Chief Alexander Santos and his men were awarded the Medalya ng Kagalingan for the operation that led to the neutralization of one rogue cop and the arrest of the leader of the kidnapping group and 2 others. Senior Superintendent Rogelio Simon and his men from the Makati City Police were also hailed for catching a Makati policeman involved in the kidnapping of Chinese nationals. Also awarded the Medalya ng Papuri were Superintendent Rogarth Campo and his men for the arrest of a Muntinlupa cop also involved in kidnap for ransom activities. Chief Superintendent Rolando Anduyan of the Manila Police District was recognized for the arrest of 3 rogue policemen of the Ermita Police Station 5. Contractors whose infrastructure projects face unexplainable delays are in danger of being blacklisted from government projects. Miguel Hill tells us more.
Public Works and Highway Secretary Mark Villar warned of the blacklisting of contractors who cannot explain the cause of delays of their respective infrastructure projects. Villar said this was in line with the order of President Rodrigo Duterte to fast-track the construction of infrastructure projects under the Build, Build, Build program. Villar said majority of the reasons why some 400 infrastructure projects are facing delays are problems on right-of-way acquisition and issuance of permits. He said the passage of the Ease of Doing Business Act is expected to hasten the process of permits needed in the construction of big-ticket projects. Over 70 flagship projects such as railways, roads, bridges, subways, ports, and airports have been proposed to be implemented until 2022 under Duterte's Build, Build, Build program. The program has already produced over 468,000 jobs and projected to produce more to reach the 1.8 million jobs target. For the PNA Newsroom, I am Miguel Hill.
The Board of Investments, or BOI, has registered the Ayala Group's Eco-Tourism Project in El Nido, Palawan as its first inclusive business model. Eco-North Resort Ventures, a unit of Ayala Land Hotel and Resort Corporation, invested over 1 billion pesos to develop the Seda Leo Resort. The project qualified as an IB project as it engages the local community in its business operations. Operation costs of Seda Leo are projected at over 240 million pesos yearly, with services sourced from micro and small enterprises reaching 60 million pesos. The resort will start its operation in the 3rd quarter of the year. An IB model engages low-income communities to the supply chain of large entrepreneurs as partners, suppliers, customers, and employees. These activities are in line with the government's push to reduce poverty and achieve inclusive growth. 11 members of the Abu Sayyaf group have surrendered to the Joint Task Force SALU. The 2nd Special Forces Battalion presented the surrenderers to Colonel Francisco Ariel Felicidario III, commander of the 101st Brigade, before having them undergo medical examination. The bandits also surrendered assorted firearms. A total of 146 Abu Sayyaf members so far have surrendered to the military this year. Westmincom Commander Master General Arnel de la Vega calls on other ASG members to surrender and return to the fold of the law or face extermination. 12 suspects were killed during a 12-hour Bulacan Police simultaneous anti-criminality law enforcement operation conducted in various areas of the province starting Tuesday night. Acting Bulacan Police Director Chito Bersaluna says 6 of the slain were drug pushers, 4 were robbers, and 2 were motorcycle thieves. The suspected resisted arrest by firing at police operatives during buy-bus operations conducted in the towns of Santa Maria, Bulilan, Obando, Baliwag, Hagonoy, and Malolos. Recovered from the suspects were 4 handguns and an undetermined number of sachets of suspected shabu. Bersaluna also said that a total of 24 drug suspects, including 2 minors, were also apprehended, and a total of 53 plastic sachets of suspected shabu, 5 plastic sachets of dried marijuana leaves, and marked money were recovered. The Cordillera Region Tripartite Wages and Productivity Board has approved increases in the minimum wages of workers in the region. The minimum wage in Baguio City and La Trinidad in Benguet Province will increase by 20 pesos, while in other areas in the region it will increase by 30 pesos. At least 57,000 minimum wage earners in the private sector will benefit from the increases. This will make the minimum wage in Baguio and La Trinidad at 320 pesos, 315 pesos in parts of Abra, Mountain Province, Ifugao, and in Benguet, and 300 in all other areas in Cordillera. This is in addition to the 5 pesos and 82 centavos per day increase in other monetary benefits to the employees. Cordillera is one of the regions where minimum wages had been adjusted this year. Up next, the Department of the Interior and Local Government in Cavite bagged the Best Province Award for the first semester of 2018. The San Miguel Beermen take the lead in the PBA Commissioner's Cup Finals with a blowout win against Barangay Ginebra in Game 3. The PNA Newsroom returns after these reminders. The Department of the Interior and Local Government in Cavite bagged the Best Province Award for the first semester of 2018. The ILG Cavite Director Alan Benitez says he is not just thankful, but at the same time inspired to be better and to move forward. The Best Province Award is in recognition of the exemplary performance and commitment of the province in carrying out the DILG's programs, projects, and activities. The ILG Cavite bagged 7 out of 10 Field Officers Award, 3 Cluster Awards, besides a top plum. Almost 1,000 new cases of human immunodeficiency virus or those afflicted with HIV were reported last June. The Department of Health's June 2018 HIV/AIDS registry reports a total of 933 new cases across the country. Sexual contact remains the predominant mode of transmission, with over 80% belonging to males who have sex with males. 7 were found to have acquired the virus through needle sharing among drug users, while 2 were caused by mother-to-child transmission. The data also showed that 18% of those affected had signs of AIDS. A total of 77 deaths due to HIV/AIDS for the period were recorded. To prevent deaths due to HIV, the DOH is providing antiretroviral treatment, or ART, to slow down the virus. Currently, about 28,000 persons living with HIV are undergoing ART. The San Miguel Beermen has taken the lead in the PBA Commissioner's Cup Finals with a blowout win against Barangay Ginebra in Game 3. San Miguel recovered from a slim 2-point advantage at halftime to unleash a brutal 39-point third-quarter lead and put Ginebra away for the rest of the game. The final score was 132-94. Chris Ross carried the team with 23 points, 7 rebounds, 5 assists, and 4 steals. Ronaldo Balkman had 28 points, 11 rebounds, and 3 blocks, while 4-time MVP Junmar Fajardo gave 22 points and 15 rebounds. Justin Brownlee scored 32 points and 11 rebounds for Ginebra. Bohemian coffee artist Renz Tuzon takes pride in his coffee painting skills as well as his knowledge in other genres. He emphasizes the need for artists to be versatile to make a living out of art. Janice Cavett tells us more.
Making a living from being an artist is possible, but it might require a lot of versatility. Renato Renz Tuzon knew from the start that focusing on one form of art may not be enough to cover his family's daily expenses and other needs. For him, it is best for an artist to be equipped with a variety of knowledge and not have a single skill only. Tuzon studied fine arts, majoring in advertising in college, which allowed him to acquire basic skills in photography, painting, digital arts, and even writing. While working as a professional photographer, he also tried his hand in cartooning, graphic design, and writing stories for mini novels. Even though Tuzon earned well from photography, painting was still his first love. Tuzon had his first solo exhibition in 1997 and ventured into coffee painting to remain relevant in the art world. In 2015, he started with professional coffee painting, commissioned by private individuals and companies. His artworks made it to the Raconte Moi le Café exhibition in Paris in 2017. Apart from selling coffee paintings, Tuzon also holds photography and painting workshops for young children. He said life as a student was difficult for him, but he did not give up on his dream to be a successful artist. Instead, he used it to strive harder and to adapt to the different challenges he encountered. For the PNA Newsroom, I'm Janice Cave.
Let's now check out the weather forecast for Metro Manila and the rest of the country. Let's take another look at today's top stories. The government is fast-tracking the construction of the proposed Metro Manila subway, which may become operational by 2022. The Department of Foreign Affairs assures that it is exerting all efforts for the safe and early release of kidnapped OFWs in Libya. Secretary Mark Villar warns the contractors with unexplained delays in the implementation of infrastructure projects will be blacklisted. And the San Miguel Beermen take the lead in the PBA Commissioners' Cup Finals with a blowout win against Barangay Ginebra in Game 3. Thank you for watching another edition of the PNA Newsroom. To check out these and other stories, visit the PNA website or follow the Philippine News Agency on Facebook and Twitter. For more stories about the government and how it serves the Filipinos, look for these hashtags in all of our social media platforms and websites. And that's your daily dose of the latest news and information that you need to know from the PNA Newsroom. I'm Pia Rosas Morato. Good day.